welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button down below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as we're going along. If you're enjoying the content, if you find it useful, helpful, insightful, entertaining in any way, or if you just want to give this channel some love, because it really helps this channel and helps raise awareness of asexuality. So if you don't know who I am Sandra Bowman, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a Celebration of Asexual Diversity. I'm also the founder of asexualise.com and the founder of Asexualise Academy. Welcome to tonight's episode where I'm talking about how do you know if a friend loves you. So in this episode, I'm specifically talking about friendship love, which is what the hashtags were all about. So as opposed to romantic love, how do you know if a friend loves you in a friend way? So obviously there are many asexuals that are aromantic asexuals, those that lack romantic attraction, and those that lack sexual attraction too if they're an aromantic asexual person. And so lots of aromantic asexuals really strongly put a lot of emphasis on their friendships, because many aromantics, not all aromantics, but many aromantics, they don't actually need or want to be in a relationship. They're quite happy being on their own forever, right? But they put a lot of value on their friendships because of this. And so it's very important to be able to understand when you've got someone who says they're your friend but is not behaving like it and actually doesn't really care that much, or you've got a friend that genuinely loves you as a friend. So I'm not talking about romantic love, or I'm talking about friendship love, okay? So I thought, because I do talk a lot about dating and relationships on this channel, but how do you recognize if a friend loves you like a friend? As in, no, not sexually, not romantically, but as a friend, okay? So first of all, I want to talk about what someone does if they're not really your friend, if they're pretending to be your friend. Because I've known in the past people who I called my friends, but they weren't really friends. And now I have proper friends, people who really love and care about me. So in the past, this is what would happen. I would have friends that were female, actually, incidentally, which is very interesting, while I've mostly got male friends now. And so I used to have female friends, but I didn't have very many when I was a kid. I kind of had mostly one at a time, two at the most usually, that I call like close friends. And so these so-called friends weren't really friends. So what do I mean by this? So basically, I was the one who had to phone them up. They wouldn't ring me. So meaning that if I didn't make an effort to ring them, basically I wouldn't be communicating with them. They wouldn't speak to me. And usually I had to go in, for example, with one friend and phone them up at a specific time. So back in the day, I didn't have a mobile phone. It's going to make me sound old now, but I'm not really young, really. But this was before I got a mobile phone. I used to use payphones. I didn't live with my parents at the time. I've moved out of home. This is when I just first moved out of home. And there's one friend that I called my best friend at the time, and I wanted to keep in contact with her. So I would go out of my way to specifically phone her for a phone box, because I didn't actually have a landline and I didn't have a mobile at this time. But, she would specifically need it between the hours of 9 and 10, I think it was. I think 9 o'clock I had to phone her up. And so, do you know what I mean? There wasn't much flexibility. It was always me phoning her. I mean, granted, I didn't actually have a landline anymore at that time because I've moved out of my parents, and I didn't have a mobile phone at the time. So kind of like either I had to do the phoning. I mean, the other thing that could have happened though is they could have phoned me if I'd have been, phoned me back or something. But that didn't happen. Like when I was at my parents, living at my parents, I used to be the one to phone them. I don't remember them ever phoning me, this particular friend. So this was very one-sided, you know, like I would be doing the phoning, you know, but I did go to their house quite a bit. So, you know, and we did have long chats and walk, but they used to get very funny and very defensive over weird stuff. Like I would just ask how their grandma was, which is you know, how's your grandma? And it's like, well, why do you want to know that? And so the conversation was very difficult. It wasn't flowing sometimes. Sometimes it'd be flowing, but other times it was like that. You know, it's very difficult. It's like, I still to this day don't understand why they were defensive over their grandma. It's very, very weird behaviour. You know, and you know, when you're doing the phoning, even when you live at home with your parents, and you're the one kind of running around after that person, making contact with them, otherwise they probably wouldn't speak to you. That makes it feel very, very one-sided. That's not a friend that actually loves you. That's a friend in the time, so-called friend, but it's not a friend that loves you. That's not a friend that loves you. You know, similarly, you know, someone who's like, again, like I even remember with another friend, I think I was the one who phoned them and made arrangements. Another thing is if you make arrangements to see a friend and they never make arrangements to see you. You know, if you're the one making arrangements every single time, they never ever make arrangements to see you, that friend doesn't love you in the true sense of the word, you know? Yes, they might agree to meet you, but it's always like on their terms because you're meeting them at a time and date to suit them. You're the one doing the organising. You're the one who wants to meet them. They've never come over. You know, they don't come out if they don't come over to your city where you live. If you live apart, if they don't come over to your home, if they don't come and spend time with you, if it's you going over there all the time, you know, and they never move. You know, it's always, you know, and if they decline seeing you a lot, so obviously people do get busy, they won't always be able to see you, but if they're constantly saying, oh no, I'm sick, I'm tired, you know, it's very difficult. Because I do have a friend who I know since school, but I wouldn't say that friend loves me like my actual close friends, because I'm the one this is the only friend that I actually do, you know, go over to see them and they don't come and see me. And, you know, therefore I would say that friend doesn't truly love me. I mean, it's kind of strange because when they buy me gifts, they're always buying me gifts all about friendship. And it's always deep and meaningful words, but they do have a child, and I know they're quite tied to their young child, so I kind of partly understand it. But you know, quite a few of the last times about arranging to meet up, they've been sick each time. You know, it's like, are you really sick, or are you just saying that because you don't want to see me? You know, and I don't get that with any of my other friends, so I wouldn't say that friend truly loves me in the deepest sense of the word. You know, they can't do if I'm the one doing all the work. You know, if I don't go over to see them, they won't see me. So that's, you know, they're friends with me on Facebook, but that's not really friendship love, is it? That's kind of just like, I've known you from the past, I care about you, but it's don't care about you enough to go out my way to see you. Do you know what I mean? So that's the only person that's in my friendship circles nowadays that really I would say isn't a true friend in the great sense of the word, however sad it is, because I still consider myself them as a friend because I've known them since primary school. But you know what I mean? They don't, you know, they're not giving out the true, you know, love, friendship love. And you know, some of the people, you know, like if you've got any friends that start, I mean, I know from my past, and I've known an asexual guy, which their friends are better with him now. But in the past, you know, they'd have friends laughing at him. And if you've got people who's so-called being your friends and asking you for money, I've known some asexual friends in the past that have had friends that have been after their money and stuff like that. So that isn't love. They don't love you. They're just using you. Do you know what I mean? Same as, you know, even it can be online. You know, you could have some genuine friendships online where people, you know, want to keep in contact with you. They every so often they'll message you to see if you're okay. They care about you, you know. And then you'll get the other ones that all they do is talk about themselves. And if they do message you, it's always about them. Nothing about asking you how you are. Nothing about any posts they've seen, like on your Facebook saying, I'm sorry to hear you're sick. You know, like it's always about them, about their problems, about their issues. And basically, again, you're being used because you're there as a sounding board and ear to listen to when they want you, but they don't really care about you. They're not invested in you. They're not invested in what happens to you. If something happens to you, you know, they go and tell their problems to another so-called friend. See, so these people aren't friends. They're not giving you friendship love, you know? It's just not happening. And so what are the signs that a friend actually loves you, you know? So these people that are friends that love you are usually your close friends. So they're not the acquaintance friends that maybe you've met on Facebook. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. These aren't acquaintances where you maybe meet them on Facebook and they maybe like you, they don't really speak to you. They're just your so-called friends on there. They're like acquaintance friends, aren't they? And then you've got the friends that maybe they check in on you once in a while, make sure you're okay because they care about you on a sort of level. Right, exactly. They always keep in touch. Yes, we're gonna. That's gonna be one of the things I was gonna say, but you took words right out of my mouth, Ray. Yes, very important. And so yeah, so I've gone through acquaintance friends. You know, acquaintance friends are like the ones that say they were your friend on Facebook. If you never hear from them, they're not really your friend. They're just like, you know, usually using your Facebook to gain knowledge from and stuff like that. But it doesn't mean to say you can't inspire these people. It just means they're not your friends, you know? Sorry, hi Sandra. Thank you, Ray. And and then so then you got, like I said, you got the friends that care about you, but they don't love you. They care as in, you know, they may message you once in a blue moon to ask you if you're okay, and then the rest of the time you don't hear from them. So they care about you on a I care about you in the moment sort of way, but that's it. So what type of things can you look for to see if a friend actually loves you? So one of the things, like Ray says, is they always keep in touch. But you know, it's not one-sided as well. Like, you know, I was saying earlier about someone who doesn't really care about you. If you know, if you're always getting in touch with them, if you're always speaking to them, you're always showing interest in them, they're not doing anything with you, then obviously they don't really care about you, right? So but someone who is a friend who truly loves you, they will keep in regular contact, often weekly, if they really love you. You know, that's what I found. Obviously some people do, you know, I have got a friend who loves me who doesn't necessarily always keep in touch with me. Well, they didn't used to keep in touch with me on weekly basis. Sometimes it was monthly. So, but I think there's different degrees of love. Do you know what I mean? But you know, for example, my best female friend, you know, she shows her love to me because she will go out of the way to, especially, hi Gaber, nice to see you. So for example, my best female friend, she will go out of the way to see me. We've known each other for over 7 years, right? And with my best female friend, I know she loves me by the way she speaks to me. And, you know, she even says sometimes I love you in a friend way. Do you know what I mean? And I know she does because I know she misses me. So that's another thing. If a friend really loves you, they do miss you. They miss not seeing you. They miss not being around you. They have to have some time with you at some point because it gets to the stage where they really, really miss you. And like my best friend, female friend, has moved away, but the other day she phoned up and she's like, so happy to hear my voice. You know, she's like, I'm so happy to hear your voice. Those were her actual words. She actually burst into tears and said that. She goes, I'm so happy to hear your voice. And I was like, well, you know, it's great to hear you. We were talking for like an hour and a half. And because she's moved away, you know, so it's a bit difficult because she's moved away to be with her new man, which is wonderful and she loves it, but she's left her friends, you know, they're more distant, they're more further away. Ray, I always message friends. I also send pictures of what I'm up to. Yeah, Ray, you're really, really good. You're a very good friend. I know that already. You're really, really good. And so, yeah, so with my best female friend, like she doesn't like there are sometimes some months in the past that I haven't heard from her. I usually hear for her every other month though. But that is a bit weird. I do find it a bit weird when I haven't heard from her for a while. I'm like, are you still okay? You know what I mean? But I know she's got not just me as a best friend, she's got other best friends. Having said that, my best asexual friends, they always usually message me on a weekly basis. There's one of us usually messages the other on a weekly basis. The friends that love you, you know, that really deeply love you, that want you in their life. So, oh, thank you for the flowers, Gaber. That's really, really sweet. I really appreciate them. How beautiful. Thank you. I like flowers. Um, really nice. Thank you. So I don't know what to say now. So yeah, so the friends that love you, right? They want to message you. They'll want to speak to you in person or video chat if they're long distance. They'll want to message you definitely if they really love you. They'll want you in their life. You know, they'll go out of their way to physically come and see you. Like all my friends that deeply love me, you know, the really close friends, they will literally travel miles to come and see me. My best female friend does that. You know, my best friend on here that's usually on here, Sam, they do that. My other best friend, Andy, does that. Ray, I'm just getting to know, but he's a really, really good friend. And I know he said last night, I love you as a friend. You might love me as a bit more than a friend, Ray, as well, I think. But yes, I do. It's really nice that you said that because we haven't known each other long. And Ray's like, I love you as a friend. So I thought that was amazing. So yeah, your friends might even tell you, I love you as a friend. I do say that to my friends. I'm also nuts. It's good. It's good to be a bit nuts. Yeah, I probably have. My friends are all different. I don't actually get in terms of romance as well. I don't get attracted to normal people. It bores me a bit, to be quite honest. I like characters that are different in some way and think outside the box and don't think like normal people. You know what I mean? Normal's just boring to me, to be honest. But I don't want someone who's complete psycho either, obviously, just in case a psycho's watching this now thinking, oh, I'm not normal. It's like, yeah, there is like I do like guys and who are nuts in a good way, not in a psychologically I'm psycho damaging way. I'll just make that clear. But yes, Ray, you're very different in a good way. Um so yeah, it's really important to distinguish that. So yeah, and when your friends love you, I think friends buy each other gifts as well often, but it's not, gifts doesn't equate to love. But I think, like when you love a friend, you feel like you want to give a gift to them sometimes or a card to them. Do you know what I mean? And I think if a friend really loves you, they like to do that type of thing. They like to give you gifts. They like to give you cards. Not that equates to loving you as such, but it's one way they show their love of you, for you, if you know what I mean, as a friend. They'll usually listen to you as well, and they'll tell you the truth, which is one thing that's very, very important, is that friends who love each other, they'll have the ability to tell each other the truth, even maybe if it's not exactly what they want to hear or they think the other person wants to hear. So they'll have the ability to be comfortable enough with each other to tell each other the truth, and they will share secrets with each other. If a friend really loves you, they will share secrets with each other. You have to be honest. Yes, Ray, friends who love you will be very honest with you and they won't lie to you. They won't lie to you. If they lie to you, they're lying to themselves, aren't they, really? But yeah, they'll be very honest. They'll be upfront with you. They'll want to spend time with you. They'll want to talk to you. They'll want to message with you. They'll want to see you in person. They'll want to, take an active part in your life. They'll want to do activities with you, go out on day trips with you, do things together. They'll want to grow the friendship as well to make it deeper. They'll look at it as a long-term thing, not a short-term thing. So they'll always be trying to grow the friendship. They'll always trying to strengthen it, if you know what I mean. And they will have the ability to be absolutely honest with you, and you'll feel safe around each other, that you can tell each other anything, like a true, really deep love connection for a friend. You'll be able to tell each other anything and everything, even if the truth may be not what they want to hear. Like if I fancy one of my friends, I'll tell them. Doesn't mean to say they'll fancy me back. That's fine. I just know I'm hyper romantic. But I can tell my friends that, and they don't run away like, "Oh my god, she romantically attracted to me. Ah, I've got to go." No, they're not like that. They're just like, kind of like, carry on. As though I haven't even said it usually. Because they know it's just the way I am with my hyper romanticism, that I can end up being attracted to my friends in some way, shape, or form. Doesn't mean to say they're suitable for a relationship with me, but I can end up doing that. So, because I don't experience any platonic attraction at all. So yeah, so you should be able to be completely honest with a friend that loves you, and that you'll be able to be honest with them, and they'll really care about you. They'll care about your well-being. They'll care about if anything happens to you. Like me and my friends, my asexual close friends, like if we go home, they're like, "Oh, message, text message when you get home." Like, say one of my friends has traveled to see me, when they get in at home at night, because they've got to go train and bus, they'll be like messaging me, "I'm home now." Do you know what I mean? So we care about each other's safety. We're not just here, we're not just present for the person in the moment. Do you know what I mean? We don't just care and love them while they're here face to face with us. We care and love each other as friends when we're apart, and when for our safety. Like if we haven't heard from one of our friends for a while, we'd be messaging usually to check up and see if they're okay. Obviously, if they're on Facebook and they're active, then you can see that they're alive usually. But do you know what I mean? Every so often you check in with them to see how they're doing, especially if you haven't heard from them for an unusual amount of days for them. Like, obviously friends do have their own lives as well, so you might not speak to them every single day, because they might be busy going to a conference, busy out on a date with someone, because they're going to have relationships, obviously. Just because if you're an aromantic asexual watching this who doesn't want a relationship, your friends might love you, but they still might be romantic and want relationships with other people. So they might be on a date or seeing their girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever. So they might not message you or phone you or contact you every single day. But usually they'd be in regular contact, and you'd have the stability and kind of center that you knew that they were your friends, even if you spend some time apart. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be seeing each other every day. Like me and my best female friend, sometimes we don't see each other like for weeks, and then when we see each other, it's just like we've not seen each other, apart from we miss each other and we need to catch up. Do you know what I mean? So it's often the situation with friends who love you, you can pick up where you left off, as though like the time hasn't really changed. So me and my best friend Sam, for example, we're meeting on the 4th of January, which obviously is still some time away. They've got the tickets now, which is amazing, just coming down for the day, all the way from Hertfordshire. My best friend's coming to see me. They got to go from Hertfordshire to London to come and see me in Exeter for the day. I mean, do you see what I mean? That's true friendship love. I mean, Sam doesn't go around saying "I love you" as a friend. It's not their style. That's not what they say. But I know just from what they do, their actions, how they express themselves in terms of friendship towards me, that they do love me as a friend. I know that. They don't have to say "I love you" as a friend. I just know it. I know they care about me as a friend. I know they've said they value my friendship deeply, so so I know they love me. So sometimes a friend might not say they love you, but you just know they do by their actions. The fact they go out of the way to see me, the fact they travel miles to see me. A friend doesn't do that unless they really love and care about you. They just don't. Do you know what I mean? Especially consistently. So is there a consistency and persistency about it? So if a friend, like if someone sees you for a day and then they don't see you for 3, 4, 5 months, and you don't even hear from them, that's not a friend who loves you. That's just someone who wants to hang around with you in the moment and likes you. Do you know what I mean? So my friends will consistently. I'm seeing my other friend Andy on the 7th of December. It's a while since we've seen each other on our own, but Andy was at my last asexual meetup, so it'll be really nice to spend time with Andy too. And they are traveling to come and see me. Do you see what I'm saying? I will see you one day. I just have to find out where to stay. Oh, bless you, oh. There's a Premier Inn directly opposite the St David's Station in Exeter. I'm just telling the whole world that. And that's actually got disabled, you know, like, because I know you've got a dog. I think they take dogs in there, I'm not sure, but you can find out, I think so. And they've got like I don't know if you need disabled facilities, but they've got special hotel rooms that you can hire with disabled facilities, so you can have like a uh uh I don't know if you need that type of thing, because you're able-bodied quite a lot, aren't you? I don't know, because I don't know your personal circumstances, but they do have like seats. You can sit down in the shower. Also, friend that only get in touch when they want something are no good. Yes, Ray. Friends that get in touch with something that only when they want something's no good. Friends that don't stay in contact with you, you have to stay in contact with them all the time, is no good. Friends who never want to see you or speak to you in person, they're no good, you know, or video chat. Obviously, if it's a long distance friendship, you're not going to be able to come every 5 minutes. You know, you might not be able to come for months if you haven't got the money, but then you can video chat face to face, or phone if you're not comfortable with video. Do you know what I mean? Or, you know, message, they'll at least a message. Do you know what I mean? But in the 21st century, a lot of friends that love you will do some like phoning sometimes, or video chat. Do you know what I mean? But they will at least text message you, you know, because some people aren't comfortable on video or phone. I do know that. But, you know, I think if a friend really loves you, eventually they'll do that because they just care about you so much. Do you know what I mean? But not necessarily, because they'll be getting out of their comfort zone. So sometimes the way a friend behaves is not necessarily to do with you, it's to do with them. So that are those friends, like I just said, they're ones that aren't comfortable video chatting, aren't comfortable about talking over the phone. So they will message. Or some people prefer, like, you know, speaking to someone on in person, face to face, than they do on the phone. So you know what I mean? That's very difficult scenarios sometimes, because sometimes, you know, a person has their own issues and problems, which doesn't mean they don't love you. But I would say the people that actually deeply love you are the ones that actually push through their own boundaries and push through their fears more, because you mean more to them than their fears and hang-ups. If they deeply love you, so if they take that friendship love to another stage, if they deeply love you, you know, they just really, really are willing to get out of their comfort zone to see you more or speak to you more. Do you know what I mean? That's a friend who really, really really deeply loves you. So there's a love, and then there's a deep, deep love where they will go, you know, they will face their fears for you. Basically, they will do stuff maybe they're a bit uncomfortable with. I'm not talking about friends doing stuff they're uncomfortable with that's bad for them. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think people, you know, friendship's not about pushing people to do what they're fearful of and playing mind games. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about, you know, sometimes friends will push themselves out of their comfort zone, especially because they love you so much. So, for example, I've got a friend who didn't, well, I've had a couple of friends, close friends, that didn't like video chatting, but they were willing to give it a go for me, and actually they're fine with it now. Do you see what I mean? But they weren't used to doing that, and it wasn't something they were comfortable with, but they are like, oh, I'll give it a go. And you know, it's you know, it's good. You know, I didn't push them, they didn't have to, I just asked. You know, at one particular time a circumstance came up where that we were messaging for hours, and I'm like, it'd be much easier if we just video chat about it, if you don't mind, because it was just a bit much. So yeah, so sometimes, you know, I think, you know, and also a true friend is someone who's there for you in bad times, not just good. Because, you know, for example, my best female friend, I couldn't believe it. Like, I lost my job in 2017, my full-time job of 5 years, right? From a well-known department store. I used to be in there, and I lost my job, was made redundant, and that's the third time I've been made redundant in my life, right? The company I actually worked for was a concession inside a department store, and I'd actually been made redundant from them before. And so anyway, I actually saw my redundancy coming months before, like the year before even. But when it came to actually happening, it took me by complete surprise, because a few months prior to that, when I'd be worried about my job, I actually expressed it to my manager because it went quieter. She was like, no, your figures are great. And I was like 163 or more percent up on percentage of sales over target. So I was doing really well. So my mind was put at ease that no, that's not going to happen. Everything's fine. And then a few months later, my manager came into the store to give me some furniture samples, and she took me upstairs to the office and gave me my redundancy letter, which was great, wasn't it? So I thought in that particular instance, she honestly come to give me like swatches and furniture samples. And yeah, she just took when we went upstairs, she goes, "Oh, can I talk to you in the office?" Which I thought was a bit weird. Pulled out a letter and straight away read it to me. And then within a couple of months, I was out of there, basically. I stayed on for some extra time, just for a few weeks part-time to help them out. And then I took redundancy. So they still haven't replaced me. They're just letting the store staff do it, cutting down on staff, you see, the host store staff, and because it's more computerized now. So yeah, so that was the end of that. But you know, obviously it was a shock to me at the time. And my best female friend, she was working, was it a couple of jobs, 2 or 3 jobs at the time, and she came all the way from her town, which is like half an hour on a train, specifically to see me, because she knew I'd be upset because I've been made redundant. It was all quite shocking actually at that time. And she had to catch a train and a bus and the same back, and she'd been up since 4 in the morning, I think, or something. Kind of crazy. And you know, and she bought me food and a drink, and she's like, "No, you don't pay for it, I'll pay for it because you're not working anymore. And you know, and I just want to do that for you." And you know, that's a friend who really loves you, who like, you know, who does that, you know? I can't believe it. You know, I couldn't believe it at the time. I'm so grateful and thankful for her being there. And also, I was bullied as well in my job. And the year actually that I left was the year I couldn't take it anymore. You know, 4 years I've had this guy bullying me in my work. And my best female friend was there for me. Like, I haven't had depression since 2012, but at that point in my time, my mental health was really, really bad. You know, I could feel myself, if I wasn't careful, going backwards. And I didn't want that because I haven't had depression since 2012. I rid myself of it, but it was very difficult dealing with a narcissistic bully, you know? So anyway, but my best female friend, she came over. She, I think she came over and we went out, had a meal together, and she bought me, a gift. She bought me a card, and she bought me this like relaxation CD, and this card was quite funny as well, helpful and funny, and this like relaxation like music to de-stress me and help, and it was really beautiful of her. And she also got me this lamp, which is like a friendship lamp. I think that's when she bought it me, actually. Have I still got it here somewhere? Let me see if I can get it. Oh, it's really nice. Where has it gone? Aha. It's behind here. It's really, really, really sweet. And so, yeah, look at this. It's like, friends, you are unique. You are beautiful. You listen, you care, you love. We are so blessed to be friends. You love with all your heart. You laugh with all your soul. Listen without judgment. You're truly amazing. That's beautiful, isn't it? So, so yeah, my best female friend got me that. You know, and I just think it's lovely, you know, and she really cheered me up because I was just so upset at the time. I didn't know how to deal with it. And to be honest, the management weren't good with me at all. They weren't good with me at all over it, you know. It was really bad. Their reaction wasn't. I had to go in when I was off sick. I was off sick by the doctor due to bullying. So yeah, that's one good reason why I'm happy I was made redundant, you know. I don't have to put up with bully anymore. I mean, that is so relieving. Do you know what I mean? I don't like people who bully people. And he was so narcissistic, and I had to go back. So after 2 weeks, I went back, but I watched some YouTube videos of how to deal with a narcissist, you know, because it was very, very difficult. I read up about it a lot while I was off to try and find best techniques for dealing with someone. Because when you're dealing with a narcissist in work and they're right opposite you, they're in front of you, they work on the department in front of you, right? You have to speak to them when they're there, basically, whether you like it or not. it's a lot of the time it's a very difficult situation. So I learned techniques of trying to help me, to deal with that particular person. And it was hard. It was very hard. And so I don't miss that. That's one thing I don't miss about employed work. I do not miss being bullied. I hated that, Obviously, people don't like people that are different as well. So, I know that some people are not particularly great with me because I'm different to them. But this particular person, he used to follow me around where he didn't need to follow me around. There was no need for him to be in these places, literally walk and follow me and pluff up pillows near me and make horrible snidey comments and stuff. It's just like really bad. But I'm glad I'm out of that now. I'm glad that I was blessed to be made redundant in that way, because I feel so much happier that I'm not in that environment anymore. So much happier, because I didn't, I liked the job. I loved the job at the time, but I didn't like this particular person. The fact that management sided with him when I was the one who put in the complaint was weird. But he was in favour with the management. He knew more than them about policies and procedures and stuff like that. And often a narcissist works their way up, into supervisory or management level because of the attitude they have and the way they are, because they're not emotional. They're a bit, So, and it's very hard being around a narcissistic person because you end up having to not be emotional yourself and not emotionally react. And if you're a naturally emotional person, they prey on emotional people. They prey on people who are sympathetic. I'm an easy target for someone like that. I know that, but I didn't want to change myself. So when I was around them, I had to be less emotional. But when I was not speaking to them, I would carry on being bubbly me, which he hated. He couldn't stand Sandra being bubbly and herself. As narcissists don't want that. They want to be the most important person. They want all the attention. And if they don't, and they don't like people who are emotional. Well, I'm going to carry on being emotional because I like it, and being emotional is a good thing. I'd much rather be emotional than unempathetic or unsympathetic, because those people end up being narcissists, and that's not what I don't want. And that's why it's very difficult to be around narcissists, because you can end up, they kind of try to make you like themselves, draw the life out of you, and suck it out of you. It's horrible. But yeah, I'm glad not to be around that anymore. But yeah, so my best female friend, she really helped boost my confidence levels back up. She really helped me to be much happier again. She really helped me to have the courage to go back to work. She didn't tell me to go back to work, just because she gave me a lot more confidence back again, and because she cared about me and said lovely things about me, bought me gifts, and just, you really cared about me, really cared about me, and said that basically, it's just basically, his problem, it's not, she expressed how good a person and kind of person I was, and how much she loved and cared about me and valued my friendship and made me feel good as a person, and really cheered me up, and I always laugh when I'm with her usually as well. So it's really good. And I think friends who really, really love you, a lot of the time you'll be relaxed around them, you'll be able to laugh around them, you'll be able to be yourself with them, and that's so important. And sometimes they might get a bit more hurt because they really love you as well. So you can get friends who really love you and they might get hurt. Maybe this hasn't totally happened to me, but I've seen it with other friends, that sometimes two friends can actually be not so nice to each other because they feel they're losing each other, when really they just really love each other, and they should actually say I love you rather than be the opposite. I'm not talking about me. I can't say who I'm talking about, but I've got a specific scenario in my head. And I have known some friends to do that. They kind of very feisty friends, both really strong characters and a bit stubborn. And so instead of saying, oh, I love you, if things aren't going so well, sometimes they'll kind of be like, this isn't me. I'm a different person, and friends that deeply love me are different. We, the way we interact. But some people, they can kind of push each other away because they love each other so much and don't want to get hurt. And then they end up hurting each other by accident. And, they just need to say they love each other. So I do know some people like that, so I guess it depends what type of person you are. But I know the people that, And I guess sometimes you could inadvertently push someone away by accident without realizing it. But in the main, I think, if you really love each other as friends, and if you have developed yourself to a stage where you feel you can talk to the other person, which you should be able to, you should be able to express your emotions, not keep them bottled up and say, I'm feeling this right now. Being in this situation made me feel like this. I'm really upset because of this. This is how I'm feeling at the moment. So I think when two friends deeply love each other and care about each other, they're able to express things they're not so happy about. It might not be specifically to do with them. It might be to do with a scenario that's cropped up between you, something that made you uncomfortable and you didn't realize, or they didn't realize, because you're not going to be perfect, And I think your friends will love you with your imperfections as well, and will forgive so long as you're honest, like even if a person's saying stuff that I don't want to hear, it depends the nature of it. But, if it's something that I can forgive because I know that they're not usually like that, then that's fine. Or I can't abide by lying. I can't trust a person who lies. Therefore, I can't. I think, to have a deep love for someone, you don't want to lie to them. You have to be honest with them. You just can't lie to them, because you feel you have a duty of care to that person to be completely open and honest, and you want to develop and grow the friendship if you truly love someone, because you don't want to be without them. If you start lying to them, you're going to end up without that person. So yeah, and with friends who love each other, they'll still have boundaries in place with each other, like things that are no-go areas that you don't do. Things they'll be able to tell you about, things they're comfortable with, uncomfortable with. So, for example, like some friends, like like with my friends, I'll ask them if they're okay for me to hug them. Usually, hello and goodbye. I won't cuddle my friends because I don't agree with that in friendship. But I'll ask if, I'll know, like usually, I'll ask in the beginning when I first get to know them if they're okay with hugging. But sometimes they might not be like that when you first get to know them. But, I'll ask them if they're all right. Usually it's just natural now between us that we hug hello and goodbye. But, I always have asked that in the beginning when I first met them. I won't just take that for granted. And if they were uncomfortable with anything I did, then obviously they would tell me, like I would tell them. It's like my best male, my best yeah, no, not my best male friend, my best friend, Sam, who's non-binary, they would tell me if they were uncomfortable with anything. So for example, when we're going on the theme parks in Breen this year, they'll remind me, they'll go, don't forget, I'm not into women, I'm only into guys, don't get too close. And they'll say it in a jokey way, because obviously I get attracted to guys, they're still guys in person, but they'll remind me that don't get too close, because obviously they have physical contact with a guy that they want to be intimate with, not a girl. Do you know what I mean? And so I don't mind them saying stuff like that. I find it quite good and funny to remind me of that as well. So that's nice, they'll say it in a jokey way, but obviously they mean it, to have, like, they don't mind, hugging a lone goodbye, and they don't do that to many people. I'm one of the very, very few people they'll do that with. So I'm very, very honoured. That's how I know they deeply love me as a friend as well. So they'll do things that they wouldn't do for other people as well. So, but that's all about boundaries, like I don't cuddle my friends, I make a point of saying to my friends, I'm not going to cuddle you, even if even if a friend would want me to cuddle them, I don't cuddle outside of a relationship, so I'd say, sorry, I can't do that for you, if we're just friends, I can't do that, I don't agree with it, and they would accept that. So, it's all about putting boundaries in place. And obviously, if some of my friends are uncomfortable with something, say there's a place that I want to go to that they don't want to go to, a true friend that loves you, they will say to you, look, I don't feel comfortable about going to this place, because there'll be some places that they might definitely not want to go to, even though they'll do certain things for you, maybe more than they do for other people. There might be things that they're just not comfortable with at all. So then I'll say, I'm not comfortable with that, I don't want to do it at all, and then you accept that because you love each other and you care about each other as friends. Do you see what I mean? So true friendship love is when you feel supported by them as well, like you support them and they support you through good times and bad. You know, they're there for you. They want to talk to you. They want to message you. They want you in their life. They want to see you. You mean a lot to them. You feel like you mean a lot to them. You feel like you're important to them. You feel like they care about you more than the average person does. And you know that if anything happened to you, they would be upset if anything happened to you. You know, like if anything happened to my best male friend and my best non-binary asexual friend, then I would be really, really, really upset because I care about them and love them as my friends. Do you know what I mean? I'd be upset for quite a few of my friends anything happened to them, to be honest. But you know what I mean? I mean, my friend, my best female friend, she was in hospital twice and nearly died in the last 12 months. Last December was when she first went into hospital, nearly died, and then again later on this year. So, but she's moved now. She's got a healthier home and environment, and she's just having one job instead of 4 jobs, and so cut her hours down. So I'm really, really pleased about that. And so, but she does want to see me, like I saw her on Saturday. She'll message me going on because she lives further away from me now. She's like, oh, I'm coming, even if it's just for an hour, I'd like to see you. Do you see what I mean? So she'll go out of her way to make sure at every opportunity she can see me. And I think that's really, really lovely. My best female friend, she's very different to me in some respects and very similar in other ways. She's more spontaneous than I am. I'm usually a planner. So, my friends that love me, they will plan stuff with me as well. They'll usually plan to do things. But having said that, my best female friend loves me. She's more spontaneous. So if she's planning, she's usually planning something. Either she'll spontaneously say, I'm coming to your city tomorrow. Can you meet me? Have you got time? Or, she will plan a little bit ahead, but she doesn't tend to plan that much ahead. She's not really a planner. So, but I know she loves me because, she'll, like I said, she's come at the short notice when I've been really upset or I've been bullied at work or things haven't gone well for me. She's come over and, when she's been working lots of hours and all that type of thing, because she really wanted to see me. So, your friends will who really love you will go out of their way to see you, spend time with you, care about you and love you. You'll feel valued to them. You'll feel supported by them. You'll feel special to them. And you'll feel like you mean something to them, like in the past, those people, if I never made the effort with those friends I talked about in the beginning, they wouldn't have bothered with me, and they didn't really value my friendship. They didn't value me as a person. It's more like, oh, you're just there as my friend for when I want you. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to go out of my way to still speak to you. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're over here, I'll talk to you and I'll be happy to see you. But if not, and like I've had some friends in the past that don't really want to see me, not that much. And they're not friends that love me. They're not friends that deeply care about me. The ones that are in my immediate circle now, the ones that love and deeply care about me, I'm important to them. I mean something to them. They want to make sure I'm all right and happy. They want to make sure that they see me and spend some time with me. They want to spend more time with me. They want to see me more often. They want to spend longer periods of time with me as well. So, all these are signs that a friend deeply, deeply loves and cares about you. Obviously, you can get some friends that love you as just their friends, but you can get some friends that might end up having romantic feelings for you. I have to say that, because, because I've never experienced such wonderful, deep, close love friendships before in my past. I wasn't used to a friend loving me. I wasn't used to friendship love, because I was associated from guys, particularly, I was associated that type of love with romantic relationships only. Now I know that you can have a deep love for a friend. With me, though, because I experience no platonic attraction, like, I can have some feelings for a friend I love more than just friendship. Sometimes, it could be like I'm romantically attracted to them as well as have deep love friendship. Could be I'm aesthetically but not romantically attracted to them and have deep love friendship. So for me, it can be a little bit harder than it would be for them who just loves me as a friend. But, that can happen because obviously in the future, like the person you're going to be in a relationship with is usually going to be a best friend to you. So at some point in your life, when you do get a best friend, when you've got, might have several best friends, then you're going to find that one of those might turn into a relationship later on, because that's just how life usually goes, is that, you know, in order to have a deep, meaningful, romantic relationship, it would have to start as friendship first of all. Obviously, if you're aromantic, asexual, that doesn't want any romance, then that's fine. But I'm saying, just because you don't doesn't mean to say there's not going to be a romantic asexual that doesn't get attracted to you and want a relationship with you. You know, and it's similar with, you know, like with friendships where you're attracted to the opposite gender and you have friends of the opposite gender. You know, you might get like them or love them, end up loving them more than a friend, you know, and you've got to deal with that at the time. If it's not reciprocated, then you've just got to stay friends with them and move on romantically or love wise, in terms of relationship love wise, to someone else. You still can have them as a friend, providing it doesn't complicate things too much, you know. You can still have them as your friend, but you know, but you a true friend who you love dearly, you should be able to talk about that type of stuff and say, look, I felt more than friendship love for you. How do you feel about me? And if they say, well, I like you, I love you as my friend, or I care about you deeply, but I don't feel that way about you, then you've got your answer. Then you move on in terms of relationship romance and keep them as a friend. You know what I mean? But you have to move on, because if you don't move on and let them go, then you're hankering after something you can't have, and you shouldn't be waiting around for that. I mean, if a person really wants to be in a relationship with you in the future, they should, if they're a best friend, they should be able to tell you that. Things have changed for me now. I've realised that I do love you more than a friend, or care about you more than a friend. Let's see, you know, I would love a relationship with you, you know, because obviously it could change for either person. It could change the opposite way, that you decide, okay, that person only loves me as a friend, I've moved on, and then the other person could end up loving you, and you've already moved on. So, you know, there can be sometimes some confusion or some crossovers, you know, so don't think that can't happen. You know, I've never had a female love me, friend only love me before. That's been very weird experience for me, because I'm not a lesbian. I'm not attracted to women. I've never had a woman even say, like, I love you. They even say I love you as my friend, you know. And I've had, you know, they don't use the word friends, they go I love you, but I know it's in a friendship way. And so particularly when they're drunk sometimes. But when they're drunk is when the truth comes out, and it's like, I love you, mwah, mwah, mwah. But I know it's just as a friend, because they're not lesbian as far as I know. No, they're really into guys, really, really into guys. So but you know what I mean? It's hard, and I've been physically close to them when dancing and stuff like that in a crowded room, and that's been really weird for me, because I'm not a lesbian, so I'm get very weirded out sometimes by that type of thing. I have very specific boundaries, so you know, but I do love dancing sometimes in a crowded room. But you know, it's kind of like, once I was dancing really close to my female friend, I was like, this is weird, it's freaking me out a little bit, just a tiny bit, but I got to get used to it, because we've been friends for over 7 years, you know. And I know she really loves and cares about me as a friend, so it's okay. I trust her, but it is a bit weird. So I'm not used to a female actually loving me as a friend, because in the past, the female friends I had didn't love me. They didn't care about me. If I hadn't have bothered communicating with them and keeping the contact going, they wouldn't have bothered with me. And so eventually I decided to let them go in the past, in the end, or one of them particularly. You know, I said to my parents about letting them go. My dad's like, oh, he thought I'd made a mistake, and I never made a mistake. You know, I never made a mistake by letting that friend go, ever. It was one of the best decisions I made of my life, because I truly valued myself, and not someone where I was doing all the work and effort all the time of phoning them and keeping in contact with them. You know, I did the best thing ever, letting them go. I should have done that a long time ago and got better friends, but I didn't realise that at the time. You know, because you have to value your worth. You know, it's no good if someone's not willing or wanting to see you or spend time with you. You know, I know people that buy friendships but always buy gifts. I'm always careful of them. Yeah, by always buying gifts. I know people that buy friendships by always buying gifts. I'm always careful of them. Yeah, you've got to be careful, Ray. I totally agree with you on that. And you have to be careful of friends that buy you things that can use it against you. Like, I'm not saying my friends have done this, certainly not my asexual friends. They haven't done this at all, but I know people who sometimes they give you gifts and like, well, I've bought you this and I've paid for this. That's why really a lot of the time I like paying for my own drinks when I'm out, my own food when I'm out, and stuff like that. I mean, if a friend really wants to buy me a drink, then I'll let them. But I always talk about paying for, like, if you ever come to an asexual meetup, we all pay for our own food, we all pay for our own drink. I never say I'll get around in, because I don't have the money to do that sort of thing, and it can get very, very out of hand. You know, you know what I mean? If you're like buying drinks for a whole load of people on your table, unless you're comfortable about doing that, which I'm not comfortable about doing that, so I don't put myself in that position. You know, I don't think anyone should buy something for someone to expect something back. Do you know what I mean? I don't think they should do that. And I don't do this, I'll buy this round, you buy it next time. I don't do that. I'm very clear cut like that, because I don't like having something owed to someone over my head. I don't like that idea at all. So yeah, you got to be very careful when, you know, like, I'm not talking about my asexual friends, but you got to be very careful when people do buy you stuff, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, I've bought you this and I've bought you that in the past, and like, I'm hard up on cash now. Like, they kind of expect you, you know, they're not really your true friends, or they've got a bit of a more selfish notion about them. I think not selfish, they paid for you in the first place, but it's kind of with an expectation. I think friends who really, really love you don't expect to get anything back. Do you know what I mean? They don't expect you to pay for that stuff back if they giving that to you. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, I'm aware that I don't want to take advantage of anyone as well. You know, I will say no sometimes if people offer me drinks, because I don't think it's right to do that all the time. I'll be like, no, you need your money yourself. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so it's, you know, you've got to be careful about the gift buying thing. If I see birthday and Christmas, that's different anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, kind of friends will buy each other gifts for birthday and Christmas sometimes if you're seeing each other, or maybe you'll send it through the post, depends on the situation. But yeah, ones that, like you say, Ray, those that are always buying gifts just for the sake of having a friendship is not good. It's not good at all. I totally agree with you, you know. But you know, it's very important that you only buy gifts for friends if you want to do it, not because you feel obliged to do it. You know, like, it's very, very important that you do that, you know? Like, I'd rather my friends didn't buy me any gifts than expect something back from me, or that we're doing it for the wrong reasons. Do you know what I mean? Um, Having said that, obviously the people that do buy me gifts, that want to buy me gifts, are very sweet of them and kind of them. I very, very much appreciate it. So it's really, really nice, you know? I think it's really, really good. So yeah, I think I've covered most of, you know, what a real deep friendship, someone who loves you, you know, they'll want to spend time with you, see you, develop the friendship more, spend time, you know, off social media, in person to see you, usually, unless obviously it's a long distance friendship. You know, they'll want to spend some time with you, they'll want to come over. I mean, even if it's long distance, if you're really, really loving a friend, usually you want to go to their country to go and see them, or go traveling with them, or go and meet them in a mutual convenient place. Do you know what I mean? There's going to be some point where you want to meet them in real life, you know, off the internet, usually, if you really love a friend, you know. And I do think that in terms of a romantic relationship, you still have all that type of thing, the friendship love, like all the qualities I've mentioned, but you have another dynamic to it. Like, you have all the friendship love stuff that I've spoke about, but you have, like, if it's a romantic relationship, you'll have the romance on top. So you'll have the physicality, you'll want to kiss the person, hold their hand, cuddle them, be more physically intimate with them, you know, and you'll want probably them in your life even more, as in, you probably want to see them daily and speak to them every day and communicate with them even more often. Do you know what I mean? In a romantic relationship or romantic love, you know, you'll want them to be an integral part of your daily life, day in, day out. Like, if I don't hear from my friends, well, I mean, to be honest, I'm getting more and more friendship love from my close friends, so I kind of like to hear from them a bit more. But like, my best friend, we speak to each other, you know, message each other most days, which is really nice. I think it helps the bond to grow more, and it's nice. But you know, we've both got our own lives as well, so if we don't hear from each other for a day, it's not the end of the world or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? Or, you know, even like I'll say, oh, I'm going to be offline for a couple of days, I'm just going to be doing my work, you know, so they're not going to hear from me basically. But obviously I think in a romantic relationship you kind of like want the daily contact because you want to maintain the romance. Like with friendship, you kind of know they're always going to be your friend, they're always going to be there. But it's a bit weird when you're in a romantic relationship, I guess, to feel more secure with the romantic relationship. It's a bit weird because you really shouldn't need, theoretically, if you're secure in the relationship, you shouldn't necessarily need to speak to them every single day. But in a romantic relationship, you kind of want to speak to them every single day because you want that romantic connection to be maintained and sustained. You want to go beyond the level of friendship. So it's even more magical and even more electrifying, even more connection. Like I usually like to speak to my special someone on a daily basis because it's kind of like to maintain the connection, the romantic connection. Do you know what I mean? Because it's different to just friendship. But friendship is, you know, more and more important to me than it's ever been nowadays. So I do like it when I hear from my friends. You know, it's nice. I feel important and special to them. I feel like they really care about me. You know, my best friend, Sam, when I was really poorly with a respiratory infection, you know, they were like, they wanted to hear from me every day, just a message, a text message quickly to say that I was okay and still alive and fine, you know, because I was very seriously ill. When they saw me, I was quite poorly. And then, you know, when I lost my voice completely, I was very, very ill. The doctors were very, very worried about me. And so, you know, like I was messaging them each day just to let them know. They said, just do it, just, you know, a couple of words, a sentence just to let me know you're okay. And I really appreciate that because I felt really loved by them as a friend, you know, that they're going out their way to make sure that I'm okay every single day because I live on my own, you know, in a house, but on my own. And if anything happened to me, no one would really know. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so it was really nice that they cared so much that they wanted me to keep in contact with them. When they are busy themselves, they got quite a lot going on with their family, the space era. You know, my friend Sam does the space era, you saw them on here. So, you know, I felt really loved and cared for by them as a friend when they did that. I really appreciated it. And, you know, they're always going out of their way to come down and see me. They're making arrangements in advance to spend some time with me. I like that as well because my best asexual friends, they do book it on the calendar, which is really good for me because I'm not so spontaneous with meeting up usually because I get really busy, and if I don't do a certain amount of work, I get stressed. Like today, my Mac had a warning message that it was nearly out of storage. I had like 1 gigabyte and a bit left. So before I came on this channel, I had to, you know, I've deleted over 5,000 files to get 39 gigabytes back, you know, so 38 gigabytes on my Mac just so I can do some more video editing for my asexual meetup mastery course, which has taken me a long time to do. But I spent the last several hours just deleting files, which is annoying because I wanted to get on and do some more videos, but I couldn't. You know, when you've just got just over 1 gigabyte of whole storage left, the old Mac, you know, your Mac can't actually even open. You know, if I lost a gigabyte, I couldn't open anything on my Mac because I couldn't do anything with it to delete anything. So I have to make sure when it gets to that stage and it's critical that I just delete stuff. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be able to do the live stream anymore. Do you know what I mean? So it's really important. You know, like that, you know, friends value each other and they also give each other their space as well. Do you know what I mean? To do their own projects and do their own things. And I really respect the fact that my best friends, they do book in advance of me to come and see me because I get stressed if I don't do some work, you know, it gets on top of me. I freak out. It's like, oh my God, I've got all this stuff to do. I'm not doing it. That's why even in a romantic relationship, really, I can only see a guy once or twice a week at the moment because I need to get work done. If I'm not doing work, I get very stressed. I need time for myself, you know, to chill and relax as well. So it's really, really important. And, you know, I like my friends, the fact they book in advance because it's something we both look forward to. And we, you know, it's kind of, we really care about each other, really love each other as friends. And we look forward to seeing each other. It's kind of like you've got a security of knowing that person really wants to see you and they're making plans with you in the future. So they, you know, you're a very important part of their life, you know. And I think a lot of these things, that's why I found it difficult to have like close loving friendships with the opposite gender because I'm not used to that. I always used to associate that with romantic relationships, and obviously I always say that asexuality is a journey of discovery, you know, about yourself and about other people, you know. And I never knew that I had the capacity to love someone as a friend and then love me back as just a friend. But obviously with me, because I'm a romantic, hyper romantic asexual, but boundaries can blur from, I'm not saying from their point of view, I'm saying from mine, not the boundaries as it's such, the feelings can blur more sometimes because I can get attraction for them, but usually it's contained in just one type of attraction that doesn't override the friendship. The friendship love's more important than any other feelings I may feel in any other way, you know. So but that's just because I'm a hyper romantic, experiences multiple attractions and doesn't have any platonic attraction whatsoever, which is very weird for an asexual person. But because I talk about it with my friends, it's not a big deal to me. If I harbour my feelings and don't tell them and don't be honest, then it just really overshadows all my mind and my life. If I know about it, it's like kind of like, yeah, and that's it. End of story. I'll move on as a friend with them. So it's really good. But I'm not used to deep friendship love. I've never had that. I've only had that type of love in romantic relationships before. And probably I haven't even had it in romantic relationships, to be honest, because in the past, the guys who I thought my friends in romantic relationships, they weren't that honest and stuff. So you know, and you know, they go out of their way for me, my friends. So it's really lovely. But yeah, anyway, Trent P Fam TV Arcade Gaming. Hi. Oh, hello, Trent. Nice to see you. Thank you for popping by the channel. I appreciate that. I think I've actually gone through most things now. Has anyone got any questions about friendship love in comparison, for example, to romantic love? I think you know that in terms of romantic love, you know, you've got a lot of the friendship love qualities in romantic relationship and romantic love, but it's multiplied by the fact that you want how, you know, you have more intense romantic feelings for the person and you want to speak to them even more, see them even more, and want more communication with them and want them more in your daily life, and you want to get more physical with them, whether that be kissing, just holding hands. It depends, like, or because obviously as asexuals we don't experience sexual attraction, but in terms of romantic relationship, for those of us that are romantic, we'd likely want physicality of some sort, whether that's just holding hands or kissing or cuddling. Some asexuals want full-bodied nakedness together, cuddling and stuff like that. I'm not into that. But yeah, so it depends on how you are as a person as to what you would crave. Whereas with a friend, when you love them, you wouldn't really be thinking about stuff like that usually, unless obviously you've got feelings for them that are not just love, friendship love. Do you know what I mean? And you like them in that way. So anyway, I think I've gone through everything at the moment I can think of. So if you've got any questions, comments, queries in the meantime between this video and the next, please pop them down below in the comments. Thank you so much for Ray for tuning in tonight. I really love you being here. Thank you, Ray. Thanks for the friendship love. I do appreciate you so much. Thanks so much to Gaber, who came on the channel earlier, and Trent also. Lots of love to all of you. I know there's been some other people watching as well, so big love to all of you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. It really, really helps this channel out, and it helps raise awareness of asexuality. Share this channel with anyone you think may love this channel. So it's asexualized my asexual life. So youtube.com/asexualized my asexual life. Give that link to someone and help them to see this channel, join the conversation, join my community here. This is a asexuality chat show nowadays, so do get them to come along and join in the conversation. And don't forget to subscribe yourself if you're not already a subscriber here, and that great big bell icon as well near the subscribe button, so you'll get notified of every time I go live. Like now, post a new video, there's like a subscribe button and a bell icon. They might be opposite ends actually under the YouTube video, but the subscribe and the bell icon, make sure you hit them both, and then you'll get notified when I go live. Like now, I'll post a new video if you've hit the bell icon. And then yeah, don't forget to embrace your quirky and each other's. And I thank you so much for joining me tonight, And I wish you very much happiness and a lot of friendship, love, and eternal love forever. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks, Ray, Gaber, Trent. Thanks, everyone. Love you lots. Take care. Have a beautiful day wherever you are. Lots of love. Bye.